Benji, I'd love to hear you explain about the higher self. You say that everything that happens in my life is by choice of my higher self, and you, combination of. I believe my experience would be much richer if I could make that perspective my own. It might be. That is my experience for sure. How is my higher self mine if I cannot see it? Well, what do you think it looks like? A body, a thing? It's non-physical. You can't see it in that sense. How is my higher self mine if I cannot see it? By trusting and knowing that it is, just like we just did in the exercise. If you want to really become cutting edge at whatever you're cutting edge at, if you truly wish to go beyond the muck of doubt and equality and inequality and other people thinking this and that of you, if you truly wish to rise above all that, not in a bad, arrogant way, but just rise above all that, if you truly wish to set yourself free and live in the realm of your chosen thought, in your chosen reality, your chosen frequency, you have to come up with a lot of courage. You have to come up with a lot of bravery. You have to dare to just know. You have to let go of physical evidence, because physical evidence is the result of your knowingness, your choice, your conviction. If you don't choose your conviction first, the evidence will not change. The people in it will not change. The scientists in it will not change. You will never read an article that confirms what you intuited, because you're not choosing your intuition before you read about the evidence. As it goes to all aspects of your life. If you wish to see confirmation of what you know, intuit, and hope to be true, then trust in your hope until that hope is knowledge, and that knowledge or conviction is then the word that defines your reality. And then suddenly, there's proof for it all around you. And at some point, you don't need physical proof anymore, because you just know that creation does not have one reality, and that everything else is just imagination. You know that every created reality is another portion of imagination, equally valid to any other reality. So the question no longer is, am I delusional or not? The knowledge is, I am delusional. And so is everybody else. That is how consciousness creates different alternate parallel realities that are all equally valid expressions of infinity. It is by inserting delusion into every portion of its consciousness. The dream is one big illusion. We're all delusional creators. There is no one solid reality we all agree upon. There is no one Newtonian truth. There is no one scientific reason or reasoning. There is none of these. So you have to be willing to realize that you're the creator of the entire universe, your experience. And then at some point, you'll be lifted completely beyond the realm of, is this true or not? I'm not sure. I'm doubting what I intuit, because it's never been shown in science now. It's never been explained by some PhD sheep that followed the educational system. There's none of that. There's no need for confirmation outside of yourself. You have to take that bravery. You have to be willing to be delusional, at least be willing to be delusional for a moment, and see that I'm actually just free, and this reality shapes itself according to my convictions. Once you start tasting of that, you know that that is the objective truth that is true for everyone, but then certain beings think that that's not true for everyone, and what is true is what we perceive. But what we perceive is the tail end of our creation, and our creation is everything we see. And our creation is originating in our state of being, our conviction, where we place our energy, our intention, our focus, our self-belief. So you have to be willing to let go of circumstances dictating what's real or not for you, so that you can start shaping creation effortlessly, beautifully, joyfully, in service of love and light. Because that is what aligns you, and that's what accelerates you, and that is what for you generates more and more heaven on earth. I'm the happiest mother. I know. And I'm 26 years old. And that's not a thought I conjure up a lot. But sometimes people ask, you're so young and you generate so fast. Well, how do I do that? It's by following my own teachings. By not caring about the outside world. By not waiting for other people to agree with who I am. Simple, right? Don't wait for other people to agree on who you are. The fact that you desire to be who you are is the highest authority's, your higher selves, permission slip to act in that way, to be in that way, with integrity and love and respect, of course. But that's not difficult. That's not two different things. In fact, you're lacking the integrity and respect if you don't have the integrity and respect to honor your higher self's impulses. So you say that everything that happens in my life is by choice of my higher self and you as a state of being, as a response. It can only manifest for you whatever you are able to receive from it. So it's a combination of what's relevant for you, what is inspired to you by your higher self, and how you respond to that, receive that, and act on that in terms of your vibrational attitude and the actions that follow out of that. The confidence, in other words. Always be the most confident person in the room, again, as an exercise. It's not about whether that's true or not. It's not about comparison. It's just as an exercise. You're in a room right now. Are you the most confident being in here? Are you more confident than I am? Yes. That is the only answer. That should be valid. That's how you should leave this door. I am so much more confident than Bentinho that I don't need him. That I don't need this meeting if I don't want to, if it doesn't resonate. I don't need anything from him. I'm so confident that I know that everyone here is my child, begging for love and affection and approval. It's another way of saying always be the parent of the circumstance. Don't be the child, unless, of course, for a moment you want to be the child. That's completely fine. But as you raise your confidence frequency, you will start to feel that, oh, wait a second, these other beings don't actually know what they're talking about better than I do know who I am and what is true and how life works. I have full access to that. But when you're constantly in the automatic mode of others know better than I do and there's outside authority and I have to wait for them to agree with me and teach me something, then you're never going to move as fast as, for example, I tend to move, because you're not choosing to be the most confident being of your reality. I believe my experience would be much richer if I could make that perspective, that everything is by choice of higher self, my own. How is my higher self mine if I cannot see it? I don't fully understand that question. Won't my higher self ever ask me before making a decision, so we could come up together with what's the best decisions? That's what's constantly happening. It's constantly asking you for your approval. And your life is a reflection of that completely. If you don't approve, you're not going to get that bliss. Everything your higher self ever offers you is the most direct, effortless, harmonious way to your greater excitement. That's why it feels exciting when the things excite you. It's because it leads to greater excitement. That's why things feel heavenly, and that's why you should act on the things that feel heavenly, because they are glimpses of your future. Will you approve of that? Nothing ever happens without your approval, except sometimes higher self goes, oh, you're just so blind to this whole impulse. I have to create this thing for you right now because you're not listening. You're not paying attention. So sometimes it is superimposed in that sense, and you're not aware that you're approving or disapproving. But all the time, vibrationally, most of the time, in most things, it honors what you accept into your reality. So most of you you don't have to struggle with creating the reality of your dreams. You just have to approve of the imprints that are already given to you. Higher self knows exactly what would make you the most ecstatic version of your creation. You don't have a clue. So have faith that the impulse is leading you to that reality. All you have to do is press the approve button. I approve. Just stamp yes. Yes. Excitement, bliss, ecstasy, love. Yes. Service. Yes. Joy. Yes. Expansion. Yes. Mine is all and all is mine. Yes. Everything is one being. Yes. I cannot be harmed because all is one being. Yes. Nobody else can be harmed because we're all one being. Yes. I live in integrity and with alignment and with joy and love at the core of my choice. Yes. I like that sports car. Yes. I want a holistic relationship. Yes. I don't need a holistic relationship. Yes. I don't need a sports car. Yes. There is no lack. Yes. I'm going to get that sports car anyway. Yes. I'm going to get the holistic relationship anyway. Yes. In its own good timing. Yes. Etc. Approve. Approve. You constantly are asked to hit the approve button. Every time something excites you and you start doubting it, you're like putting that approve button aside, and at some point it just leaves your vision, and all you get used to is, no, I'm not sure. And then somebody 20 years later asks you, how are you? I'm fine. I can't complain. It's no way of living your life. I said during a meeting at SAN, the Science and Non-Duality Conference was the past few days. It's in California. Check out scienceandnonduality.com for their website. It's fun. I encourage you to, if it resonates, go there next year. It's a fun combination of all kinds of things. Anyway, I said one thing that people need to learn in order to really live in the way that I'm teaching is, of course, in your own way, in your own fashion, in your own unique expression. But in the accelerated fashion that I'm teaching and sharing and exposing you all to by living it, is to become absolutely non-tolerant of mediocrity, of suffering, of contraction. And often we equate this to non-acceptance, but it's not true. It's the farthest from the truth. True in alignment, high frequency acceptance, in holistic perspective, alignment with all that is to actually be able to say, of course everything's already accepted, otherwise it wouldn't exist. Let's get over it. It's not up to us to accept or not accept. It's up to creation to accept or not accept, to be mindful or not mindful, to be allowing what happens or not. Whether we allow or not doesn't make any difference. It's already there. Too late. Acceptance is not a practice you should focus too much time on. A little bit just to get a taste of the alignment and acceptance, that's always already the case. As soon as you realize acceptance is always already the case, you're free to stop accepting things without it leaving the backbone of your sense of peace and allowance. But it's become embodied, just like you know gravity is there. Who of you thinks 12 times a day, gravity is here, how am I going to walk to that door? You know there is gravity, so you forget about it so you can actually live your life within the context of gravity. Acceptance is the same thing. Enlightenment, awakening is the same thing. You can actually start becoming a more effective expression of infinity by accepting that acceptance is already accepted. So you can live your life within the context of peace and acceptance, but not having to focus on it. And then you become intolerant to your own suffering, your own contractions, your own limiting ideas. You stop tolerating and calling it spiritually acceptance. Oh, I'm just accepting what is. You stop doing that because you become alive. You become a fiery, feisty, feast-like, like a feast. It's a feast, right? You're devouring it. You become this on-fire expression of infinity, and infinity does not tolerate anything or not tolerate anything. Either one is fine. But to become a more effective expression of infinity, you have to learn to listen to your higher self, and that comes with the inability to tolerate your own suffering. So as soon as you suffer, you start naturally bringing consciousness to that. Why do I suffer? You don't go, oh, it's all accepted, let me just suffer it, we'll move on, let me just hold the space for it. Holding space is beautiful. But at some point, you know that space is already holding the space, and it just becomes obvious. So you can start living your life within the context of knowing space is space. Okay, and then you can become more effective and more embodied and allow the energy to open up. It's like your veins, your energetic veins start expanding and quadrupling in their size. The information they can let through, the sense of being alive that they can let through. You become a vessel, a channel, a conduit of higher wisdom, of higher love. And there's no arrogance in that. There is no room for arrogance in that. The moment you become arrogant, you collapse to a lower level of openness. But the more you learn to not come to any conclusions and to not tolerate your own suffering, but to ask, why am I suffering? Be absolutely adamant about resolving why you are suffering. Because you care about your life, do you not? Do you not care about creation? If you don't signal off, and you're always signaling off something, so get out of the state of mediocrity, get out of the state of the automatic mind. And become alive, become awake to caring about creation, because creation cares about itself. It doesn't want to do redundant things that have already been explored before that don't induce greater liveliness. So care about your life. The moment you care about your life, you're signaling that off, and everything else starts to care about you and support you and facilitate that accelerated, penetrated force of consciousness, waking up, expanding and manifesting different realities according to your true heart's frequency. So care about your well-being. Many people do not give a damn about their well-being. They just don't care. No, it's okay. What would it mean if a mediocre person would have to step out of their mediocrity and stop accepting their suffering? It would mean a lot of things. But be ready for that. Be willing to face these lots of things. It takes some energy, it takes some commitment, it takes some bravery, and it takes some transformational time to step out of decades of automatic realities, automatic assumptions, ideas that don't include you but only other people's minds, to step out of that and to take a responsibility, vibrational responsibility, to take back your consciousness, your empowerment. It takes a lot of things, yes. But if you have the courage and willingness to do that because you care about your life, you will absolutely support it in that transformational process. Absolutely support it, to the point of unconditional love for yourself. Complete autonomy, you and your life. You and your life. Can you imagine that? No more seeking for another in any way. No more daddy and mommy will you approve of what I do. ever, you and God, as one channel, one direct telephone line. That is empowerment. You're not waiting for anyone else to approve of who you are. You're absolutely, absolutely overwhelming life with who you are, because that's how creation creates and expands. So care about your well-being more than you've ever done before. Yes, make a point out of it. That's not non-acceptance. That's absolute acceptance of the fact that creation wants to create through you in the most effective, joyful way. To accept that means to be adamant about what makes you suffer and why, and to resolve that. Do not live in mediocrity unless you like it. Do you like it? Planet Earth is getting out of that, and it's forcing you to get out of it as well. Will you follow? Will you hop on the train that's coming? Or are you happy with where you're at? Which again is not the same thing as understanding true acceptance. It's a wholly different story than what most of you have been taught in spirituality. I promise you that. Very few people have a true clue of what true acceptance is. And that's okay. There's one stage of acceptance, which is to see that you can accept what is and don't have to struggle with it. That's a baby step. Don't make too big a deal out of it. Oh, it's so hard to accept things. Of course it is, because it's already accepted. So to try to accept something, yes, that can take a lifetime of practice, of being a monk, or whatever. You want to pour that into whatever form. Of course, it can take a lifetime, because it's not a true practice. You're trying to fake something that's already been done. Of course, you can take a lifetime trying to succeed at that 100%, because you can't, because it's a false practice. Instead, relax for 2 to 5 seconds. Recognize the infinite, endless acceptance of this moment that's already given by the space that is existence. So you recognize the acceptance that already is. You're not trying to imitate what already is. You're trying to become an expression of what already is, what's already available. Does that make sense? No? Yes? Okay, thank you for your participation. Thank you for caring about your life. Thank you for caring about this moment. Thank you for caring about this meeting. Thank you for caring about what you're going to do in 15 minutes or now. Thank you for caring what resonates and what does not resonate, so that you become an ever more specific, precise resonance example of what it is like to be creation awake to its creatorship. Okay. Get over your mediocrity. I know it's safe. I know it's comfortable to suffer. It's comfortable to suffer. It's comfortable to not have to take back reins. It's comfortable to imitate acceptance. So you'd never actually have to take a step. You never actually have to uproot any old ideas. You can just accept them. But to take action on behalf of creation's intention to explore itself, now there is true acceptance. Now there is a power to be reckoned with. Now there is an aliveness. There is a true connector to all that is. So much more viscerally that I cannot even describe how different my experience is now from when I thought it was all about acceptance. There is no difference. I mean, there is no difference. But there is this enormous difference. There's no way to define or describe the difference. More and more and more, I feel that I cannot explain my experience to you guys. I can only hint at it. I can only glimpse you at it, so that you can take that information and make it your own. I may seem like many things in the service, depending on the beholder, depending upon the eye of the perceiver. But I cannot explain myself. I cannot show you my full self other than an example. And even then, it's up to your interpretation, so it's not an accurate teaching. Because you can think of me whatever you want to think of me. But I can just share with you from the bottom of my heart that there is no bottom to my heart. And that there is no end to this. And that right now, the way I experience life cannot be put into words that you are all familiar with. I don't have the words for that, and you don't have the words for that. But I can hint at it. And so my teachings hint at it. They leave a trail. Follow the teaching and you'll follow the trail and make it your own. So you too become that accelerative comet that every month or so, looking back upon itself a month ago, can no longer explain the difference. It's just too vast. It's too expensive. It takes everything you have. It takes full-on commitment, full-on care about every tiny single detail of your being. If you can't conjure up that type of care for yourself, then expect yourself to stay in the slouchy state. The couch hangers. No judgment. By couch hanger, I mean hanging out in victimization. You have to start caring step by step at your own pace, but accelerated. Have the intention to care about every detail of your freaking consciousness. Why am I experiencing contraction about this apple falling on the ground? Why? Investigate. Make a big deal out of it. Don't diminish it in the name of spirituality. Make a big deal out of it. Of course, you're not dramatizing it. You're just making it this enormous opportunity to see something about yourself that you're excited about. Make every event a really excited, focused event. And nothing can stop you in conventional reality. When you do this, when you have this type of willingness, and often people ask me again, like, what was, if you could boil down, what got you to the space that you're in this amount of time or at this age, it would be that perseverance, which fails to describe the word, but true commitment, true devotion, true care and interest. If you cannot bring that appreciation for being alive, which is what it is, to be on fire with the fire of desire, of clarity and truth and honesty and expression and bliss and joy, if you don't value these things, then not much of these qualities will enter your being. You are literally disapproving of your higher self wanting to accelerate your life. You're saying, no, thank you, I'm quite comfortable where I'm at. No, I'm fine. As long as you say to yourself, no, I'm fine, I'm good, it's okay, it's all accepted anyway, then you're not actually becoming a co-creator. So you're not getting as much energy. It's simple. Life is not going to expend a lot of energy on those that are not creating a lot of things. That are not waking up, that are not alive, that don't wish to step into their power. Because it would be an overblowing of the fuse that you are. It cannot give more energy to you than you are willing to receive. Of course, this is one step at a time. I'm speaking to you from having done this for years. Nevertheless, let it inspire you to take your step as passionately as you can, and the next step as passionately as you can. And as soon as you wake up to the grace that is being alive, as soon as you become grateful for the fact that you exist, that you are called into service, as soon as you start to appreciate everything that you owe your existence to, which is to exist, as soon as you realize you owe everything you do have, even if you've created it in a mediocre way, all of that has one sole thankfulness, and that is thanks to you being called into existence. I encourage you to appreciate, to value, to be a little more grateful for that, the spark that made you exist. And so if you are in alignment with knowing that you exist, then you must exist for a purpose, because creation does not exist without purpose, does not create without abundance and purpose and relevance, does not create anything redundant that's been done before, which is so many people's experience of their life. Your life is this unique, wanting to be unique, expression of creation of infinity. Start to value and honor yourself in that way, and you honor all of existence, because there's no separation. If you honor your own life, you're honoring all of existence, and you're getting a glimpse of true acceptance, true flow. When you don't honor yourself, you don't honor existence, and you cannot accept the problems that occur in your consciousness. You cannot. You do not have the energy, the understanding, or the grace, or the gratitude, or the connectedness to truly accept all of yourself, because you don't value your life as a unique expression of the One. Wake up. Wake up. You are alive. Every single billionth of a second, you are awake, you are here, you are called into service. Cut through the crap. Be like a knife. Be intentional. Be desirous of all that is given to you and more. Thank you.
Monday.com is a team management tool that changes